Welcome back to another episode of Rage Rants. And it's not so much that I'm going to sit here and rant and rave with all sorts of colorful language, but I do have a couple things to think about that I want to share with everybody else. And I have been waiting so long for the perfect example for this Rage Rant. And I captured it. It finally happened. And so what we're going to talk about today in Rage Rants is item level and achievement abuse in pugs. And so sometimes, let's say you're like me, you have a couple alts that are around 940 item level, 945. They're not ready to go clearing heroic Antor's the Burning Throne, but they're definitely geared enough and do well enough to clear Argus on normal mode, which you want to do every week on your tunes for your Pantheon's Blessing upgrade, the trinkets, and the legendary. And so you try to pug it in case your guild isn't running 1,000,001 alt raids. And as you go to hop into a pug, you look at all the different things inside of the looking, for group tool. And you see all these different people that say 940 item level, 945 item level. I've even seen people say normal Argus. I saw one the other day, 950 item level requirement for normal Argus, which just blew my mind because he drops 940 gear, let alone the rest of the raid drops 930. But today I found my example. Now, I'm not going to call this player out by name, but you can read the text in the bottom corner if you want. So I queue up for one. It says normal Argus and link AOTC for instant invite. Now I have ahead of the curve already on Argus, so I link that up and get an invite. And then I realize there's only 2 tanks in there and me, and they're like, hey, hold on, be very patient. We're putting together a very good crew. And I'm like, that's fine. You guys want to be picky and put together a good crew, that's fine. You've got your things set, whatever, you're in charge. And then I start to look at their health pools, and I notice that this warrior tank only has like 6.8 million HP. I have 5.7 million HP as a DPS, so I inspect him. I look at his gear, nothing's enchanted, sockets are missing with gems in them. Everything seems to be like gear you could get off the relinquished vendor, and there's just a lot of stuff missing, and it's starting to raise an eyebrow for me. So I look at the other tank. It's a Druid Bear tank with 12 million HP, and I think, Druids have a lot. Start looking at their gear, not quite as bad. And all of a sudden there's a healer in group, and all of a sudden there's DPS in group now, and we're up to like 5 or 6 people. And I decide, you know what, I'm gonna do some achievement comparison here, because they said AOTC for instant invite, Seed of the Pantheon link if you have it, which is reasonable request, but I compare achievements onto the Druid Bear tank. Now he has Seed of the Pantheon, which means he's cleared normal mode Argus on at least one of his tunes on his account. So I think, okay, this tank maybe knows what he's doing. He's cleared it at least once on one of his tunes. He has some experience. And then I look at that little warrior that just kind of scared me with his HP pool and his gear and stuff. And I click link, compare achievements on him. And all he's done is Light's Breach, which means he's only cleared the first few bosses of the new raid on this tune or any tune, because those are account-wide achievements. And then I realize he hasn't killed any of the others. There is no Seed of the Pantheon. There is no Ahead of the Curve. And so, with a couple people in group now, I kind of throw out in raid chat, I say, hey, just throwing this out there, one of our tanks has never cleared Argus at all. And as soon as I put that in raid chat, I am instantly removed from the group. I didn't say that it was bad, I didn't say that we couldn't do it, I didn't say anything along those terms whatsoever. I just pointed out that the person who wants us to link Seed of the Pantheon or AOTC for instant invites doesn't have either, and in fact hasn't even cleared most of the raid. As soon as I am instantly removed, I send a tell to the player and I go, wow, just wow, man. Somebody points out that you haven't cleared it with no positive, good or bad criticism on you, just pointing it out, and you kick them from the group. And I get no response. So then I'm a little fed up at this point, and I send a tell back, and I say, well, hey, good luck finding a group of skilled players to carry you. To which I realize I am now being ignored. And this leads to the total subject of the rant. There are times where, obviously we all have the choice where we can join a group with ridiculous standards or not, and we choose what we do and what we don't do. But the abuse of that system You know, people want you to outgear it by a ton. And whenever you see that kind of stuff, or whenever you see achievements like that, and you get in there, maybe they are just being nitpicky. Maybe they value their own time, which time is a non-refundable resource. I talked about that in another Rage rant. I can respect people not wanting to just take anyone into a group to get the job done, whether it's a high-level Mythic Plus or killing a raid boss on normal, heroic, or mythic, or whatever. But when the standard is 20 item levels above what the boss drops, or what the Mythic Plus dungeon drops, when the standard is must have a heroic clear achievement to even enter a heroic raid, why? Why is it so high? Now, again, I already stated, I understand that you want to keep some players out because you value your non-refundable resource, which is your time. But when it's that high, and when you get in there and you start noticing drastic differences between the people who started the group and yourself, you might want to bring out that little tool, Compare Achievements. You might want to bring out that tool that lets you see what these guys are doing, because a lot of times, we all have seen it. It's a pickup group for a raid or maybe a Mythic Plus where one person wants to be carried. Now, I don't have a problem when you list in your group, I see it for Mythic Plus all the time, looking for carry, use my keystone. And I'm fine with that, because somebody threw it out there right in the start. They're like, hey, carry me. I have the equipment to get you in here. That's totally fine. They have the keystone. They're being honest about it. That's cool. If you're being honest about the fact that you want to be carried through something, that's fine. But when you throw a fit and remove someone from a raid for just pointing something out, not being negative or positive, just pointing it out, and then you put that player on ignore, that's a whole step up of just childish behavior. And we see it all the time in the looking for raid, looking for group, Mythic Plus, group finder. And it's just abuse of the system. Again, if you have a group that you want to control because you want to get the job done and you want to make sure it's good, that's totally fine. I have no qualms with that. But when you set the bar 20 item levels above what is the drop of the instance, that seems a little redundant to me. Except for in high-level Mythic Plus, I can understand it cranking there a little bit. There are all these tools that people use and abuse to have other people carry them. And so the point of this rant that I really want all of you to do is, number one, if you see something fishy going on, go ahead and join the group. See what it is. Call it out, because I guarantee I got kicked from that group because I made it aware to other people that maybe had high achievements, because the amount of time it was taking to get those players, they were going after AOTC and everything else. I would made the other players aware that this person doesn't have a clue what they're doing. They don't have the HP to do what they need to do, and they just want to be carried. And I bet I was kicked simply for saying that, and I didn't say anything negative or positive. I just said, hey, somebody doesn't even have this place cleared. That's it. Removed, and then ignored. The other thing that I want to do is, down in the comments below, I'm really curious, what have you guys seen for senses of abuse of these systems? Just ridiculous high item level requirements, or you got into a group, they wanted you to have something done, and they didn't even have it done themselves to get there. And it seemed like pretty obvious once you looked at it, they were just looking to get carried themselves. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think, what you've experienced for stories. I'm totally curious. Again, I'm not going to throw this player out, but if you feel like reading the text in the bottom corner of the video clip that plays that section where I'm moving my mouse over it, go ahead, check it out. I don't feel bad about putting people underneath the bus that completely want to use and abuse the rest of us for something great. We'll talk to you guys later. Like and subscribe if you like, and also thank you so much for all the support on the channel thus far. Have a great one.